Elon tried 7 times to reach you. Musk won't wait any longer. Archangel Michael says, this is the moment you were warned about, and the window is closing. 7 signs were sent, 7 doors were opened, 7 chances were placed within reach. Heaven counted each one while the world kept moving beneath your feet. Tonight, the final signal arrives, and it refuses to be ignored. You were not overlooked, and you were not late, because the timing of your life is being recalibrated by a higher hand. There is a pattern to the interruptions, a rhythm to the delays, a design to the detours that kept you safe until you were ready to be seen. Every near miss that bruised your faith is being recycled into momentum, and that momentum is about to change the ground you stand on. The first reach came quietly, almost like a glitch that only you noticed. A notification flashed, a name you never expected to be so close to your orbit, and you dismissed it as a coincidence. Yet in that second, a path cleared in a city you have never visited, and a conversation formed around your name in a room you have never entered. The second reach arrived while you were half asleep and half afraid, when the night felt heavier than your hope. You felt the urge to check something, to open something, to respond to something, though no one stood in your doorway. That tug was not random, because timing is a language heaven speaks in private, and its grammar never wastes a moment. The third reach appeared as a mirror, and you almost turned away from your own reflection. You saw a version of yourself that no longer fits the old fear and no longer kneels to the old noise. The reflection you met was the future you, and the future you was already hired by destiny before you submitted a single application. The fourth reach came wrapped in impatience, because preparation cannot last forever. You began to sense a countdown under the skin of ordinary minutes, and the clock refused to slow down just because you were unsure. What you needed was smaller than you feared and closer than you thought, and the silence around you knew it. The fifth reach was a door in a hallway of doors, and your hand rested on the handle without turning it. Courage is not loud when it is true, it is steady like a hand that knows its work. The moment you almost stepped away, favor stepped in and refused to let your name be erased from the list. The sixth reach felt like a storm clearing faster than it arrived, the rain stopping mid-sentence, the wind returning your breath. You realized that not all endings are losses, and not all losses are wounds. Some endings are permissions, and this one gave you passage into a room with your seat reserved. The seventh reach is this one, and it is not gentle, because love is fierce when it must protect a destiny. This is the lamp at midnight and the echo at noon, the certainty that will not leave you exhausted. This is the lesson made visible and the promise made practical, arriving exactly when you need it most. There is a name at the center of this orbit, and the world knows his voice, yet heaven knows his assignment. He was not sent to save you, because you were never abandoned, but he was moved to notice what others refused to see. Your consistency in small things reached a stage that large things recognize, and recognition is a bridge built by unseen architects. You are being ushered toward a moment where introductions do not come with small talk, but with alignment. Doors do not open to flatter you, but to make room for work that mirrors your calling. The light over your path does not flicker, because this time the power source is not people's approval, it is purpose. Do not rehearse the reasons you are not ready. Your history will not be asked to audition for your future. The room you are entering has already been calibrated to your exact voice, exact pace, exact vision. You are being ready to carry weight without breaking and to stand in clarity without apology. The hesitation that used to govern your steps is dissolving because truth no longer negotiates with delay. You are permitted to move forward without explaining the path to those who prefer your past. The influence approaching you is not a throne to bow to, it is a platform to serve from. You are not being invited to imitate a brand, you are being commissioned to build a blueprint. Your life is about to write instructions that others will follow, because you learned to follow instructions when no one was watching. You will feel the shift in simple places first, the way small tasks suddenly carry ease. You will notice conversations that used to drain you now point you. You will outgrow rooms that once felt like ceilings, and the ceiling will become the floor of your next step. What looks like a phone call is really a key. What sounds like an email is really a gate. What arrives as an opportunity is really an appointment written before your first fear ever learned your name. You do not need permission to be ready for what is already yours to steward. You do not need applause to validate what the wind already whispered about your next season. You do not need to fit into the opinions that forgot how to grow. There is a table being set where your ideas are not accessories, they are anchors. There is a plan unfolding where your pace is not rushed, it is right on time. There is a partnership forming where vision and resources stop competing and start collaborating. Grace has been following you quietly through long hallways, adjusting the lights so you would not trip in the dark. Favor has been tracking your steps like a patient composer, turning scattered notes into a score that makes sense at last. Mercy has been editing the pages you wrote in panic, leaving you with chapters that breathe instead of burn. You are allowed to let go of the narrative that taught you to shrink in order to keep the peace. You are allowed to walk into this invitation without rehearsing betrayal like an old song. You are allowed to carry your name like a banner instead of a burden. The story does not end with a message, it begins with one. The proof is not in how loud the world becomes, but how still your heart remains. Peace is the passport, and you already hold it. The ones who underestimated you will witness the work without having the power to interrupt it. The ones who believed in you in silence will find their own doors opening as yours do. The ones who set traps will trip over their own impatience while you keep building. The calendar on your wall cannot predict what heaven scheduled under your skin. The clock on your phone cannot measure the speed of alignment when obedience arrives. The map in your drawer cannot contain the miles that are about to move toward you. You have been trained in the art of remaining when it is easier to run. You have learned the discipline of holding your tongue while your purpose grew teeth. You have practiced hope until it became muscle, and now that muscle will lift what once felt impossible. This is not about idolizing a name the world recognizes, it is about stewarding the assignment heaven recognizes. The connection is a conduit, not a crown. You will use it to carry water to dry fields, not to chase mirages in hot air. Your ideas are not visitors, they are residents. Your courage is not rented, it is owned. Your calling is not on loan, it is sealed with signatures that cannot be forged. The opportunity will not ask you to betray your values. It will not require you to impersonate someone else to keep your seat. It will not demand a price that bankrupts your soul. You will recognize the door because peace will walk through it first. You will recognize the voice because clarity will ride on every syllable. You will recognize the moment because the weight of it will feel like home. This is the hour to prepare simple things with excellence. Organize what you have, because abundance respects order. Write what you carry, because visibility respects clarity. You are stepping into rooms where your quiet becomes a strategy and your kindness becomes an authority. You are stepping into timelines where delay turns into acceleration without chaos. You are stepping into circles where integrity is not a slogan, it is the standard. Your assignment is larger than your comfort zone and kinder than your fear. It will not crush you, it will calibrate you. It will not humiliate you, it will honor you. Stand in this with your shoulders rested, not raised. Speak in this with your tone anchored, not anxious. Walk in this with your eyes forward, not searching for exits. You will not be rushed into decisions that dilute your destiny. You will not be tricked into contracts that hand your name to strangers. You will not be stranded in rooms that require you to shrink. What once felt random now looks like choreography. What once felt heavy now feels holy. What once felt delayed now feels delivered. The stage is not the point, the stewardship is. The spotlight is not the point, the service is. The headline is not the point, the healing is. Let the old conclusions dissolve. Let the worn-out self-doubt retire. Let the future introduce itself without negotiating with your past. You are ready to be found doing the work you were born to do. You are ready to be seen without auditioning for approval. You are ready to build without asking fear for directions. Heaven kept count for a reason, and 7 means completion when the assignment matures. Completion is not the end, it is the start of sustained momentum. Momentum is the sound your life makes when it finally travels at the speed of obedience. The call that is coming will fit your spirit before it fits your schedule. The door that opens will fit your character before it fits your resume. The path that appears will fit your purpose before it fits anyone else's opinion. This is the announcement no delay can mute and no doubt can drown. This is the change you can hold without losing yourself. This is the answer that arrived the moment you decided to remain faithful in the silence. You will move with a new steadiness that cannot be borrowed and cannot be bought. You will carry a new certainty that does not need permission to exist. You will build with a new patience that refuses to panic. Lift your head and meet the moment that came looking for you. Lift your voice and let it land where it was always meant to land. Lift your life and place it on the track designed for its weight. What is meant for you is no longer circling the runway. What is meant for you is touching down and taxiing to your gate. What is meant for you is announcing its arrival with your name on the manifest. Breathe, because the pressure is proof that the lid is lifting. Focus, because the noise is proof that the signal is strong. Proceed, because the fear is proof that you are standing on holy ground. This is the message that does not vanish when the screen closes. This is the turning that does not reverse when the night returns. This is the hour that will be remembered as the one where you chose the door that chose you first. And as you step across this threshold, carry this final line like a seal at the end of a letter you were born to open. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. You will not miss what carries your name, and you will not chase what carries someone else's burden. The alignment approaching you is not random, it is the result of the choices you made when nobody applauded. The signature over your next season is endurance turned elegant, purpose turned practical, faith turned into a daily system. Treat this hour like a room you have been given to furnish with intention. Clear the corners where old fear stacked its boxes and labeled them with your doubts. Place your confidence where the light lands, because clarity loves open space. Write down the assignments that have been whispering, because unwritten gold stays buried. Sort the ideas by impact, not by noise, and commit to the order that victory respects. Fold away the versions of yourself that were only costumes for surviving storms. You are not auditioning for belonging, you are building from belonging. You are not proving your worth, you are demonstrating your stewardship. You are not chasing attention, you are claiming responsibility. The door ahead is not guarded by intimidation, it is guarded by excellence. Excellence notices details, and details become a language of trust. Speak that language through preparation that does not panic and presence that does not posture. Your name has been whispered in circles that value substance over spectacle. That is why your next room will feel quiet at first, because depth reduces the need for performance. Remain unshaken by the silence, because real work hums instead of screams. There is a technology of timing at play in your favor. It arranges delays into precise keystones that hold the arch of opportunity. Step through without dragging the rubble of past disappointments into today's architecture. You learn to be unoffended by process, and process rewarded you with mastery. You learned to be unmoved by gossip, and gossip ran out of air around you. You learned to be unhurried by comparison, and comparison lost its coordinates. Your future does not require noise to announce itself, it requires order to sustain itself. You will not sprint to impress, you will stride to deliver. You will not negotiate with chaos, you will introduce systems that make chaos irrelevant. Influence is approaching like a traveler who respects boundaries. It will ask for your terms because purpose has already set your policies. You will reply with clarity, because lines protect the life they outline. The people assigned to help will recognize your voice without demanding a performance. They will carry weight that used to exhaust you, because shared vision redistributes load. They will celebrate the mission more than the spotlight, and the work will breathe because of it. Every resource you need is already in motion with your coordinates attached. Every place you should stand is clearing space for your footprint. Every conversation that matters is aligning its agenda with your integrity. There is a way that favor knocks, and you are hearing it now as a vibration under ordinary minutes. There is a way that strategy smiles, and you are seeing it now in the order you feel compelled to create. There is a way that courage sits, and you are wearing it now like a calm that refuses to be hurried. Let your next act be defined by quiet power. Let your next choices be measured by longevity instead of reaction. Let your calendar become a reflection of focus instead of proof of busyness. You are not late for what requires your name, because destiny does not leave without the passenger it was scheduled to deliver. You are not early for what requires maturity, because wisdom refuses to rush what must be whole. You are exactly on time for what requires a steady hand and a settled heart. The ideas you carry will not ask for permission to change rooms, they will change rooms because they change lives. The projects you touch will not rely on luck to stand, they will rely on order to last. The partnerships you form will not dilute your standards, they will amplify your standards until mediocrity cannot breathe. Your preparation is starting to glow at the edges where pressure once tried to break through. Your discipline is beginning to sing where distractions used to shout. Your peace is anchoring the floor beneath acceleration, making speed feel safe. Do not trade this steadiness for applause that arrives empty. Do not exchange this alignment for shortcuts that bill you later. Do not discount this clarity to comfort those who prefer fog. The season you are entering prefers plans on paper and power in posture. It prefers documents that read like commitments and meetings that end with movement. It prefers checklists that turn into milestones, and milestones that turn into systems others can inherit. You will recognize the right invitation by the absence of performance in your voice. You will recognize the right agreement by the absence of tension in your chest. You will recognize the right pace by the absence of frenzy in your thoughts. Treat each day like a ledger where integrity balances the books. Record the small wins that compound into momentum you can measure. Protect your morning with routines that refuse to negotiate with drift. What you are becoming is bigger than headlines and kinder than hype. What you are building is stronger than trends and softer than ego. What you are carrying is lighter than fear and heavier than doubt. Your endurance turned into architecture, and now the blueprint invites steel and glass. Your patience turned into currency, and now the market of influence recognizes your value. Your humility turned into gravity, and now the right people orbit without effort. The signal that reached you 7 times has matured into an assignment that stands. It will not disappear when the screen dims, because covenant survives convenience. It will not wobble when the room grows, because foundations were poured in quiet rooms long ago. You are allowed to enjoy the ease returning to tasks that used to scrape your nerves. You are allowed to feel the warmth of competence wrapping around your shoulders like a mantle. You are allowed to accept the compliment of clarity without explaining yourself to confusion. Raise your standard for what earns your time. Protect your bandwidth like a builder protects scaffolding while the structure rises. Filter opportunities through the sieve of long-term fruit, not short-term noise. Your speech is becoming a tool that fits each moment like a custom key. Your presence is becoming a thermostat that sets the room instead of a thermometer that reacts to it. Your decisions are becoming a lighthouse others will steer by in whether you have already survived. The bridge ahead asks for 3 things that you already carry. It asks for truth that does not flinch, discipline that does not leak, and love that does not retreat. Cross with those in hand and watch distance collapse. You will look back and see how delays became choreography and detours became classrooms. You will look around and realize that scarcity was never your identity, only a season that taught you stewardship. You will look forward and smile because the horizon finally looks like home. Let the next signature you place carry the weight of generational thinking. Let the next file you send carry the tone of a leader who values rest as much as results. Let the next door you close be a blessing to your focus and a boundary against your past. This is the era of completed circles and open corridors. This is the chapter where your quiet outperforms their noise. This is the runway where your calling accelerates without shaking the wings. You are permitted to be successful without apologizing and visible without performing. You are permitted to be strategic without becoming cold and generous without becoming drained. You are permitted to be decisive without being defensive and powerful without being loud. The world will try to rename this grace as luck, but you will know the hours of unseen obedience that birthed it. They will call it overnight, but you will remember the long mornings. They will call it easy, but you will remember the days you carried weight without witness. Continue at your pace that feels like breath, not sprint. Continue with your eyes on delivery, not drama. Continue with your heart guarded by truth, not guarded by fear. Everything that matters now will respond to clarity like a lock to a key. Everything that drains now will fade when boundaries become non-negotiable. Everything that aligns now will multiply without demanding pieces of your peace. Your arrival is not a moment, it is a maintenance. Your influence is not an accident, it is an assignment. Your legacy is not a rumor, it is a record. Walk through this door without rewriting who you are to fit anyone's comfort. Build in this room without borrowing anyone's anxiety as a blueprint. Lead in this season without letting scarcity narrate your dreams. The signal found you 7 times because you were always meant to hear it. It stays with you now because you are ready to hold it. It strengthens you now because you are ready to share it. Honor the path by doing simple things well and important things with calm. Honor the people by giving credit freely and correction kindly. Honor the mission by choosing the long road that keeps your soul intact. As you stand here, let your future relax in your hands like a tool you were born to use. Let your feet learn the rhythm of rooms that take you seriously. Let your mind trust the scaffolding you built when no one watched. This is not the end of a message, it is the start of a measured march. This is not the peak, it is a plateau wide enough to build on. This is not the applause, it is the assignment that will keep speaking long after the echo fades. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Your steadiness is beginning to speak louder than any announcement you could draft. It carries the weight of 1,000 small choices made without fanfare, each one a beam in the structure rising around you. The world will soon see the building, but heaven has been watching the blueprint mature in silence. You learned how to move the needle without moving the noise. You learned how to hold a room without holding your breath. You learned how to scale your vision without shrinking your values. Every resource that once felt out of reach is learning your name by rhythm, not rumor. It arrives at the pace of trust, not the sprint of panic. It settles where integrity provides gravity, and you are heavy with it now. Your days are becoming a choreography of focus. You wake with a clarity that refuses to bargain with drift. You end with a peace that refuses to be auctioned to applause. There is work that only responds to clean motives, and you carry them like polished tools. There are doors that only respond to finished drafts, and your pages are finally complete. There are alliances that only respond to truthful timelines, and your calendar has learned honesty. Let your next move be a sentence written in the language of completion. Let your next yes be a contract with your future, not a compromise with your past. Let your next boundary be a kindness to your calling and a warning to distraction.